So, there's been no UFC this week. We are waiting for UFC 223. So, I was talking about how there's no UFC this week at work. And basically, you know, I was talking about how Armin won his fight against Dan Hooker convincingly. And the guys at work were like, well, what about Paddy the Baddy? He beat a Michael Chandler, who's a really good fighter. I was like, but Armin just fought for the number one, spot. Like, he's the number one contender. He was the number one contender before. And, this sentiment was they were just more interested in Paddy the Baddy fighting than the actual number one contender. Then I went to the gym, MMA gym, not to put anyone under, but they had the same sentiment as well. It's like, well, it's a better money fight when you look at it. And I thought, man, this is pretty bad. Like, this is a pretty bad take for what it is. So I was like, fuck it. That's a good idea for a video. So I, King Here MMA, am going to discuss the top 10 worst MMA takes this year. And yeah, let's get started. So number 10, this is the worst year for MMA. No, not exactly the worst year. This is the worst summer for MMA. So I kind of clickbaited it. But Lucas Tracy said this is going to be a bad summer. We're going to have bad champions. And I couldn't understand that sentiment. And first of all, before I start on this, where the hell has Lucas Tracy gone? He retires, I swear, every third month. But man, he's gone missing for a while since the before the JDM fight. I don't know what's happened to him. But yeah, this is probably this is a pretty bad take from Lucas, and that is setting a standard. To say this is the worst year for MMA is crazy, considering the Dark Ages happened, considering, we have 6 current GOATs in MMA. We have current GOATs in MMA. We have the number one pound for pound GOAT in Islam Makhachev, welterweight and lightweight champion, former champion. We have Ilya Topuria, one of the greatest to do it, one generational talent. We have Alexander Volkanovski, who's the featherweight GOAT. I don't give a shit. Jose Aldo isn't. Marab, he beats Piotr. He's the bantamweight GOAT already. He's just going to extend his win streak. And Pantoja, if he gets a few nice wins under his belt, that's going to be awesome too. And, we have Alex Pereira, who's a generational fighter as well. And we have Tom Aspinall, who, yeah, he got eye poked, but basically made John Jones, run away from the sport. So the fact that Lucas tried to predict this at the start of the year, it was crazy. But yeah, pretty bad take from Lucas. And on to the next one. Number 9, Paddy Pimblett should get the title shot regardless over Armin being the number one. This is one literally I was talking about today. And I was like, man, that is a fucking shit take. If we look at Michael Chandler's record off the screen, his last 7 fights have been very undeserved, crazily undeserved. So Michael Chandler's last fight was Paddy Pimblett, who he lost to. And then it was Charles Oliveira, another undeserved, got unanimous decision by him. And then before that, he got choked out by Dustin. He got unanimous decision by Justin Gaethje, which he took a lot of damage. He beat Tony Ferguson, though, which Tony Ferguson went on an 8-fight losing streak. And he lost to Charles Oliveira by TKO, and then beat Dan Hooker. That isn't exactly a great winning streak. Armin was the number one contender before Ilya came and took the shot. He was supposed to fight Islam. He pulled out. Then he's fought Dan Hooker. and he dominated Dan Hooker and basically has bringing himself back into contention. He's fought all these contenders up. Paddy's fought number 13 washed Michael Chandler. You can't give Paddy the title shot. This is a bad take by like literally everyone I've talked to, which is crazy. But yeah, that's my take on it. And for number 8, Kamaru Usman should fight Islam despite being 1-3 in his last 4 fights. So, if you didn't know, Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo have a podcast together. Yeah, man, I think you should get the title shot. I think you should get the title shot, man. I think you go ahead of Michael Morales. And also Ian Gary. Like, you can't be for real. Kamaru's last 4 fights was a UD over Joaquin Buckley. He smudged him, but still an impressive win. You know, he's a contender. Then he lost to Hamza, mind you, on 2 weeks' notice, and it was a very close fight. Then he lost to Leon by unanimous decision, and he got head kicked by Leon. Mind you, it was a fight he was winning. You can't be for real that Kamaru deserves a title shot, especially over Ian Gary, especially over Michael Morales, especially over... I'd even give Sean Brady a title shot before Kamaru, even though Sean Brady just lost his fight. Kamaru's lost to Leon. Leon has lost his last 3 fights. That is not a good look. I guess styles make fights. And to be honest, you have this little midget saying... like backing him up, that's not saying much, you know. Kamaru needs to fight 2 more times to even get considered for a shot at the title. But yeah, this is a pretty bad take on their shitty little podcast. You know, bigger than this channel, but yeah, pretty bad take by Cejudo and Usman. For number 7, Ilya should fight for 170 gold despite there being a number 1 contender in Arman. I get why he moved to 155. Ilya couldn't make the weight. He's not a big 155er too. If you looked him next to Charles, he was pretty like small, but he you know, he's got that touch of death. He can't go up and fight again, like up at 170. He will be too small. Okay, here's my reasonings. People that want, like all the casuals that want to see Ilya go fight Islam, you're kidding. For one thing, he has defended his belt at lightweight. He just caught the title. He hasn't fought for 7 months or something like that. And the fact is, he's kind of acting a bit like Conor. I don't like the fact that he's doing that. And Arman's the number 1 contender. He can't be chasing Islam up again where, you know, there's a number 1 contender for lightweight, and lightweight's been fucked around for the last year already. So, you know, for people, all the casuals saying Ilya should go fight at 170 and, you know, like get rid of the title, that just fucks up the thing again. And then you could probably make Arman versus Gaethje or Arman versus Paddy. But you can't just keep jumping divisions. What, he's going to go to 185 next and fight Hamza? It's crazy. It's ridiculous. He has to fight contenders at lightweight. That's all I've got to say about the matter. And for number 6, the UFC doesn't have all the best fighters. There is still better talent outside the promotion. This is a bad take now. So if that doesn't make sense, the UFC, like, when, you know, all these fighters that came in, like, say, oh my god, Patchy Mix, Asakura, Delija. Now, Delicia's looked like he's pretty good. That's different. They're like, this is a half bad, really bad take, but this is half a decent take as well. Because we still have Ngannou, Makayev. We still have people outside. They're definitely not all the best fighters in the UFC. But at the same time, we just saw Kai Sakura go 0-2. We just saw Patchy Mix go, I'm pretty sure, 0-2 as well against unranked bantamweights. And we just saw Randy DeRitter quit on the stool. That's all I'm saying. This is probably one I shouldn't have added because, yes, you still have Francis Ngannou, but he's close to 40. Makayev, he causes too much, but he needs to be signed back anyway. But yeah, this is a bit of a shit take. But this is, I don't even know why I did this one. But yeah, definitely the best fighters are in the UFC. Not 99% of the best fighters in the UFC. There might be one or two. But, like, what's PFL done? Francis Ngannou went there and knocked out, the Brazilian dude in one round. And, the Russian in one, he's literally on that much juice. They couldn't find any more juice in Russia. So, yeah, there definitely is most of the best talents in the UFC. I don't even know what my point was on this one. But for number 5, John Jones wasn't ducking Tom Aspinall. And the only people that are saying this are the John Jones Glazers. You can't tell me that John wasn't ducking Tom. He held up the belt for a year and a half. Tom Aspinall literally had to defend his belt. You know how insane that sounds? An interim title holder. Like, it wasn't like John was injured. It wasn't like John was, sick. John was literally scared of, fucking up his legacy. So he held up the heavyweight division for a year and a half. And Tom had to not defend his interim title once. But I'm pretty sure twice, wasn't it? Because he fought for the interim title against Sergey Pavlovich. No, he defended once, but it was a joke. And then when he was scheduled to fight Tom, he relinquishes the belt. That is insane. Like, he was running all the way to China, all the way to fucking Russia and doing some weird shit over there, man. But yeah, to say John Jones wasn't ducking Tom Aspinall to all the John Jones Glazers, yous are fucking kidding. What planet are you on? Anyway, John Jones was 100% ducking Tom. This is a real bad take. So for number 4, punches to the back of the head should be legal. Another Joe Rogan classic. I could have done a top 10 on Joe Rogan takes, but this was not even a classic. This was pretty recent. This is probably the last 4 months. So Joe Rogan on his podcast, he recently said, rabbit punches should be legal. And if you don't know what a rabbit punch is, it's basically just a punch to the back of the head. If you don't know, the back of the head, the back of your head protects your brainstem. If your brainstem gets damaged, you go retarded. There is a fucking reason why people go to sleep when you kick someone in the neck, because you're damaging their fucking brainstem. There is a reason why you can't punch people to the back of the head. In boxing, there was multiple cases of people getting massive brain bleed and brain damage because people got hit to the back of the head. And this isn't Joe's first take. Bad take. He's got a list of them, but this is probably the worst one recently, especially. I can't believe he said this. This is one of his worst recent takes, especially. So yeah, to say that punches to the back of the head should be legal, that's insane. I should have done that at 1, but yeah, I've got something else at 1 that I want to talk about. So for number 3, power slap is the biggest sport in the world. I know this ain't a UFC or MMA one specifically, but we kind of link it in with the UFC because where else are you gonna get this shit? So if you weren't listening to Dana White at the start of the year, it's bigger than the NFL, the NBA, the WWE, all combined. Power slap's the biggest. That's why we couldn't renew our deal with a third rate fucking TV channel. Like, they were claiming some wacky shit about Power Slap. He was claiming like some crazy numbers that they were breaking. And you know what? Like, to be fair, like Power Slap, I thought Power Slap was gonna go away within a year. I thought they were gonna just get rid of the sport totally. But it's stayed around. I feel like it's a sport that it's very niche. It's like jiu-jitsu. It's very niche, but it's like smaller than jiu-jitsu because it's literally just idiots giving each other brain damage. And the fact is, it is not the biggest sport in the world. It's probably the smallest sport in the world at this level, 100%. So for Dana to just, lie to our face and say Power Slap is the biggest sport in the world, everyone's viewing it, that's crazy. That was a crazy lie. That's a bad take. And for number 2, the MMA guru is good for the sport. I don't like the guru. So this is more of my take on the guru. I've heard multiple people say, oh yeah, he's a true supporter of MMA. He loved, like, especially recently, some of the shit. Holy shit, did I spell sport wrong? I'm not redoing this video. I'm illiterate. That's alright. You know what? I was rushing this video, so that's my excuse. But yeah, the MMA guru is good for the sport. The sport. Yeah. He's not. He truly isn't. He kind of represents every troll in the community. That is what the MMA guru does. And the fact is, he just spouts nonsense and bullshit. And don't get me wrong, he knows his stuff over watching this sport over the years. But he is your casual UFC watcher. This is his only, like, the thing about MMA guru is this is his only thing in life, which is not a good thing for the sport. You need a person that loves the sport, but also has other things outside their life. That is the thing about jiu-jitsu, MMA, combat sports as a whole. You gotta have family. You gotta have, like, if you've ever like heard the guru talk to Mighty Mouse, like he'd tell you that he's thought about committing suicide because like people called him a fat troll. Like, dude, relax. Okay, it's the fucking internet. What are you expecting? But yeah. By the way, this is also the same guy that said, "Oh, I can't dial it down." You literally lost possible sponsorship, money opportunities, opportunities for your channel to grow with like the biggest, like one of the best MMA sportsmen of all time. That is insane. If you think the MMA guru is good for the sport, I think you are delusional. This is more my take. But yeah, this is number 2. But for number 1, I think everyone can agree. And number 1 is Tough is still a good way of getting contenders and still a good show. I can't. All I'm gonna say is go watch Ryan Loder versus Ismaev. That's all I'm saying, because that's the dude that won this year's Tough. He won this year, and he got fucking slept hard. He didn't even put up a fight. Tough, I'm gonna go on a rant. Tough is literally so outdated. And people might say, oh, the last good Tough was McGregor versus Uriah Faber. And some good fighters came out of that, that show. Some good fighters have come out of the show, like Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping. I can't think of any. Why am I only thinking of Michael Bisping? Oh, this is crazy. Hold on. Shit. Titties, the guy that Rampage Jackson was bullying. Michael Chiesa. How the fuck do I forget people like Michael Chiesa? But yeah, there's been good signings from from Tough, but from basically, I love Volk, but Volk's season onwards, it's kind of been shit. Like their best contender from those tough seasons have been Brian Battle, who got cut from the UFC because he couldn't make weight. That's insane. One of their best contenders from Volk's series onward, for like the Tough TV show, was Andre Petrosky. Andre Petrosky is like a low level middleweight at best. He's the new GM3. The Ultimate Fighter, I think the Ultimate Fighter needs to be canned, and we need either a new format, not the Ultimate Fighter, 100% not the Ultimate Fighter. I think we get maybe a Dana White Contender Series, like another season of that during the year. I think I'd love that way more. Or even like, a Brazilian version of Dana White Contender Series, or like they already have an Asian version of that. But yeah, like Tough's just, it's outdated, it's outgrown its use. It was good while it lasted. They should maybe do one more season, the final season of Tough, and that's it. They already did that, but they bring it back for some unknown reason. But yeah, those are the top 10 worst takes in UFC history. And, like DC said that Tough is still a good way of getting contenders. Bro, Ryan Loder just got knocked the fuck out on the last week. But yeah, guys, I always appreciate you guys liking the videos. My 5 viewers. I know there's 5 viewers, 100%. But yeah, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. And yeah, I hope you. Oh yeah, also, this is just a different, I did this is a different, not form of content. It's still MMA YouTube, but the way I did this, it's not like picks and odds. I'd love to do more of this stuff. There was no UFC this week, so yeah, I actually liked doing this and I enjoyed it. So if I get 5 views on this, I'll do more of this. I'd love to do more. I might even do tier lists. But yeah, if you liked watching the video, please like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you all later. Bye.